In this lesson, we will continue the Section 4.3, Sanctions Compliance Case Studies and Practical Application Problem-Solving Exercises, Decision-Making in Complex Multi-Jurisdictional Environments. We will start this lesson with the topic Decision-Making Frameworks and Methodologies in Sanctions Compliance. Effective sanctions compliance relies on a structured, risk-based approach that integrates regulatory requirements, industry best practices, and robust escalation protocols. A comprehensive sanctions compliance program is built on risk-based methodologies that begin with a holistic risk assessment, evaluating inherent risks across the customer base, supply chain, product profile, financial channels, and geographic exposure. Enhanced due diligence (ED) is applied to high-risk clients, complex ownership structures, and multi-jurisdictional transactions to ensure deeper scrutiny and ongoing monitoring. Decision-making frameworks employ structured decision trees and escalation protocols, starting with jurisdictional analysis to determine whether transactions involve US persons, goods, or the U.S. financial system triggering OFAC jurisdiction, or are subject to EU or UK sanctions regimes. This analysis also considers conflicting obligations, such as U.S. secondary sanctions versus the EU blocking statute, the availability of licenses or exemptions, and always prioritizes the most restrictive applicable regime. Escalation pathways typically progress from an initial screening hit through EDD to internal escalation with compliance or legal teams, and, if necessary, seeking external legal opinions or regulatory guidance before making a final decision to block, proceed, or seek a license. Regulatory and industry guidance underpin these frameworks. OFAC's 5-pillar risk-based sanctions compliance program emphasizes management commitment, risk assessment, internal controls, independent testing, and training. OFCI provides detailed guidance on ownership control, reporting, and licensing. EU authorities require a risk-based approach with real-time screening and cross-referencing of all major sanctions lists, and industry bodies such as FAT, the Wolfsburg Group, and ACAM set best practices for screening, escalation, and governance, ensuring that compliance programs remain dynamic, proportionate, and responsive to evolving regulatory landscapes. The next topic is the real-world problem-solving scenarios (EMP) simulation exercises in sanctions compliance. Real-world sanctions compliance training relies on sophisticated scenario-based exercises that mirror the complex, high-stakes decisions faced by global financial institutions and multinational firms. These exercises, developed and endorsed by leading industry and regulatory bodies, are designed to build practical skills, reinforce regulatory knowledge, and prepare professionals for the nuanced challenges of multi-jurisdictional sanctions compliance. Sanctions compliance training programs, such as those offered by ACAMS, the Wolfsburg Group, OFAC, and OFCI, use carefully constructed hypothetical fact patterns to simulate the intricate legal and operational dilemmas encountered in practice. These scenarios are tailored to reflect real-world complexities, including multi-jurisdictional legal conflicts, like the U.S. versus EU blocking statute, layered ownership structures, divergent sanctions lists, asset freezing with humanitarian exemptions, export controls on dual-use goods, and the intricacies of cross-border enforcement and voluntary self-disclosure versus the obligations. Each scenario type is paired with a core challenge and a specific exercise output, such as drafting compliance memos, conducting screening exercises, preparing license applications, or developing escalation protocols. For example, navigating the US vs. EU blocking statute scenario requires participants to analyze conflicting legal obligations and produce a board presentation or regulator QT-AMP, while multi-list screening exercises focus on ensuring comprehensive due diligence across US, UK, and unsanctioned lists, culminating in escalation protocols and screening logs. Asset freezing scenarios challenge participants to balance compliance with humanitarian needs, often requiring the preparation of license applications or legal opinions referencing OFAC general licenses, EU derogations, or Unsecurity Council Resolution 2664 humanitarian exemptions. Export controls and dual-use goods scenarios emphasize the identification of diversion risks, application of multi-regime controls, such as the USBS-EAR and EU Dual-Use Regulation 2021/821, and the use of due diligence checklists and escalation memos to document risk mitigation. Cross-border enforcement and versus D scenarios train participants to decide when and how to self-disclose potential violations to multiple regulators. Draft versus Ds according to US OFAC, UK OFCI, and EU requirements, and conduct risk assessments that maximize penalty mitigation.